Hello and welcome back to this Moon Messages reading. So coming to you from a different location today, staying at my friend's house. So yeah, just delivering it from a beautiful kitchen here with lovely decor. And I look like I'm actually camouflaged, don't I? in with the wall, apart from my colours here, but I thought that was quite funny. Okay, so this moon messages is from the full moon in Gemini on the 27th of November until the new moon on the 12th of December, and that's in Sagittarius. So the next 2 weeks, and I've already shuffled the cards. We have a different lot of cards that come through completely, well, a couple I've seen before, but other ones I haven't, so quite like that when I get fresh energy. So I'm just going to step right into the reading. I'm reading the first card, which says step into your power. So there's a bunch of 3 all together, and they all go, yeah, they've all connected. So we've got step into your power. We've got work through your feelings, and unleash your kindest self. So because they're all bunched together, these ones, I feel they're all connected to a certain area of your life. So if you're going through something at the moment which is causing you to step into your power, it's causing you to step up and be someone different to who you've normally been in the past. It's causing you to take action on something and make something known. So to express yourself and to speak up, or just, like I say, do something different to what you normally do. So there's an area of your life where you may have to do that in the next couple of weeks, right? Or it might be happening for you right now. Sometimes the energy of the full moon can come through a couple of days beforehand. So some people pick up those energies before. I know I'm definitely one of those people. So I start to sense the full moon energy a couple of days before. I get sometimes some sort of pressure headaches, things like that. It can definitely feel a shift. So if you're like that, you might be experiencing this already. I definitely have had that in for the last couple of days. I've had an example of what I want to talk about. So I'm just going to use that. I love that when that happens. I get given something, and then when I do the moon messages, I get to share that wisdom and experience. So I'm glad it's happened on time. Okay, so one of the examples I want to use, so basically stepping into your power, and one of the ones, one of the other cards is unleash your kindest self. So that's the card that reminded me of this example. So when you get challenging people in your life, when you get challenging situations that turn up, that arrive in front of you, that come into your experience, and you don't really know how to deal with it, you can step into your power by stepping into your kindest self, right? And I kind of get that. Have you seen it? I think it's Madagascar, the children's film, family film, where you've got those penguins that say smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. And I've been using that the last couple of days with certain scenarios, and both at work and in my home life or family life. And I've just gone smile and wave, like, you know. And I know that's sometimes seen as kind of brushing it off and not really like being with the, you know, and can be seen as kind of, you know, disregarding like whatever's going on, but other times it's actually more loving, and it's more kind to yourself and your energy to just do that, to just like smile and carry on and just be in your heart and be your loving, kind self. So what I found I'm not going to go into the exact scenarios, but what I found in both situations, well, in one of them in particular at work, I chose kindness to myself in this moment. So there was a very difficult, challenging situation I had to deal with in the moment. And in that moment, I chose to listen to what was right for me, what was the kindest thing for me and my energy in that moment. And it may not have seemed kind to the other person. So there's 2 messages here, actually. The other one's a little bit different. So you can choose which one resonates for you. And obviously always choose what's right for you. Don't just always listen to what other people say, okay? So I'll give you 2 examples. So the first one was I was choosing to be kind to myself in the moment. So I had to be a little bit unkind to someone else to choose myself and be kind to myself. And that protected my energy, right? So I had to work through how I was feeling, which is this work through your feelings card. Yeah. And then I had to unleash my kinder self to myself. And then I stepped into my power and chose from that place, right? That is being completely honest with yourself, kind to yourself, and protects you, okay? The second example I had, which was yesterday, actually, both days actually, had to deal with the same sort of thing. Someone else was being unkind to someone, and I could have intervened. I could have been unkind to the person, right? But again, I stopped and I thought, what is going to help me in this situation, and what is going to help the whole situation? What is going to help that other person? What is going to, what's going to cause the most uproar, and what's going to cause more peace, right? And I decided to be kind. I decided to be kind to the other person and smile and wave. Okay. And actually that diffused the whole situation, and the other person stopped being unkind to my family member. Okay. So sometimes you have to choose kindness for yourself, and sometimes you have to choose kindness for other people, and you have to feel into what you think is going to actually help the whole situation, what's going to help your energy, and what's going to help the whole situation. Okay, so they're the first 3 cards that have come out. So I hope that helped you in some way with which one feels right for you. And it might be that you have one day like me where you choose one, and one day where you choose another. All right. Okay, so these all are kind of linked, because the next card is assess the situation. Okay, so again, assessing what's going on, right? Just observing, not jumping straight into reaction mode, not jumping straight to a negative response, because that's what I could have done. If I didn't stop and pause and assess the situation, I could have jumped in and I could have been like really unkind to that other person, and it would have made the situation a lot worse, because I was reacting from a triggered place, a wounded place, rather than a kind, peaceful place. Okay. Equally, in the other situation, I could have been unkind to myself, and I could have been super, super nice to the other person. And then I would have been angry at myself because I was not listening to what was kind to me. Okay, so assessing each situation individually. All right. The next card is honor your feelings. And it was pointing towards me. So this is about actually going deeper into your feelings. So yeah, we can tell ourselves, I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel hungry, I feel tired, I feel exhausted. All of those normal feelings, right? We can say those, we know those logically, right? Obviously know them physically as well. I feel tired, I feel all those things, right? We know those on a surface level. We can speak about those. What we don't know sometimes is where those feelings come from. And sometimes we just don't see the point in looking at that. But if those feelings just keep coming up and keep causing you issues, and you're constantly tired, you're constantly exhausted, you're constantly angry, you're constantly sad, that's when it starts to become a problem for you. If it starts to get in the way of you living a normal life and feeling mostly good feelings, then I would suggest maybe getting curious about where those feelings are coming from. Okay, and you can do that by working with other people, working with therapists, working with coaches, speaking to trusted people. You can do it yourself. You can research healing methods. You can just literally sit there with your feelings and meditate with them, see whether anything comes up, any thoughts, any memories. Feel into them, and ask them, like speak to your feelings. I know it sounds weird, but speak to them. Like if you get a feeling in your body, like a tightness in your chest or something, just ask them, like where, like what, you know, where does this come from? And, you know, you can close your eyes and you can sometimes see visions, you can sometimes see memories. You can speak to them and say, you know, how are you feeling and why are you feeling this way? I know it sounds strange, but trust me, your body can speak to you. So if you're interested in going deeper with this sort of work and you want to get to know yourself on a deep level, this is the way forward, okay? This is the way of transformation, of shifts, because your body holds on to everything, okay? Your body actually holds on to a lot more like past memories and past feelings than your mind does, okay? Talking about the mind, the next card we have is Think It Through. Never seen this card before. And probably because I'm a feelings person. I'm quite logical, but a lot of the time I do actually work a lot with feelings. I'm an empath, I'm a feelings person, okay? So, and a lot of the time I do think the mind causes a lot of issues. So I might disregard the whole thinking thing, right? But there is a time where thinking can actually help, right? So I came across, I think it was a video last night where someone was saying about not making choices from your feelings. And that makes total sense, because if you are reacting, like I was talking about before, if you're reacting from the way someone's made you feel, so say someone makes you feel angry and you're triggered in the moment and it makes you feel angry, you're going to act from that place. Now, it's not always the best option. So to step back and to think it through, pause, think, what is going to actually improve this situation? What can I logically do, like, to help this situation? And rationalize it, right? One of the things that happened, I could clearly see from an outsider's perspective, I could clearly see from like outside looking in, that the issue that happened, and I won't go into it because it's sort of personal, but the issue that happened was that someone just wasn't thinking. They weren't thinking about the other person at all. They weren't seeing. So your eyes are in your head, right? They're not in your body, they're not in your heart, right? Even though it would have helped for that person to jump into their heart and into their body, but they weren't seeing and they weren't thinking about the other person's situation. And so they reacted in a negative way from their anger, and it caused hurt and upset and pain, right? And that's where sometimes thinking can help. So, and sometimes feelings can't help. Okay, so you have to have that balance, and I've actually got to find a balance card in this spread here. Okay, that's the last card. Okay, so I hope that helps. And then the next card we have is Leave the Past Behind. And this is about walking away from anything that may have triggered you, okay, that may have and this is like probably going to come from you honoring your feelings. So when you've actually like felt into a situation and you might have realized that it comes from a past hurt. You know, if someone else has hurt you and made you angry in the past, you've carried that anger and hurt and upset into the present, okay? But that past isn't there anymore. You know, the person, the situation that's happening now is not exactly the same. It's not the same person. It's not the same situation. What is the same is that feeling is trapped within you. And the feeling is what needs to shift. And only you can do that, right? And you can choose a different way of being. You can choose a different way of seeing it and a different way of responding and acting. And you can change the situation. So in order to do that, categories, in order to do that, you have to walk away from whatever caused that hurt in the first place, right? Don't keep going back to that same wound, right? And it's easier said than done, but you can do it with the right tools, healing, help, support, and and presence. I'm going to use the word presence, like really being really present with your feelings and with your situation and yourself. Okay. And then, yeah, find a balance. So it's about finding the balance between logic and feelings and thinking about what is going to help you and support you at the moment to move forward and to get clarity on your life and cause more harmony and peace in your life, so you can walk in this beautiful clear path and just feel more balance within yourself, balance your energy, and start to see beautiful things on your path. Okay, so the crystal of the moon cycle, I've seen this one a couple of times, but I do love it when it comes up because as much as I remember, it's quite a positive card. So it's petalite, and I'll just read out what the meaning is. So, witnessing the observer, ability to detach the impersonal quality of the universe. Sometimes life feels too close for comfort. Decisions are difficult to make when you're taking life so personally. This is particularly true for empaths and sensitives. When petalite spirit arrives, it's here to give you the ability to step back and observe with detachment and neutrality. I didn't choose this card. There is a place within you that allows you to observe without emotion. Feelings. See the world with the perspective of acceptance and trying to change not what you see as external to you, but rather the lens through which you perceive it. Now is the time to step back and observe what is in front of you. Are you reacting to something that is triggering you? Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Or are you overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information that you need to process and the time required to sort things out? Petalite spirit reminds you, I've got shivers. Petalite spirit reminds you that a clear, detached manner will empower you to understand the true nature of what is in front of you now and to take your next steps in your own time. This is so personal to me as well. Relationship message. There are times when you're emotionally too close to a situation to come to a real conclusion. It's also possible that what is really going on can't be seen by analysing the details, and guessing at the motives for someone else's behaviour may be triggering you. Right now, the way forward is to step back, do nothing, and observe the dynamic between you and the other person. Soon everything will become clear, and by you becoming the observer, you'll find that you didn't really need to do anything to change this situation. It has a life of its own and is offering you a valuable lesson. Sometimes we want to fix something right away when all we're invited to do is hold space and listen. I will talk about that in a second, actually. Prosperity message. When you get bogged down with all the details and complexities of a situation, it requires patience and the ability to step back and observe the bigger picture at work. When intending abundance, there are times when you think you have all the answers, or you believe you know the how of getting to a goal or outcome, when in fact you don't. The universe must play its part, and that means you don't have to be afraid. Even temporary setbacks will lead to big wins if you avoid reacting to the temporary conditions that arise when you make changes and reach for something greater. There is a saying, new level, new devil. Imagine that relating to your own resistance to greatness. Petalite spirit says to trust and observe, and to remind yourself from the position of the observer, everything is interesting. But being curious, remember? Crystal spirit meditation. Petalite is a stone that assists us in learning how to be the observer. Meditating on, carrying, or wearing this stone allows us to step out of emotional reactivity and into being a compassionate witness. It allows us to arise from emotion and allows us to rise above emotion and observe from a place of non-attachment. It's brilliant. I love how that just matched perfectly. So just going back to the bit about sometimes we want to fix something right away, and all we're invited to do is to hold the space and listen. I did actually do a quick video. I do little card in the car videos on Instagram and TikTok, And I did a video recently called What If. I might post it on here actually. So yeah, I'll do that. If not, I'll put the links down below if you want to have a look on TikTok or Instagram. But it's about you knowing that your energy is enough, okay? And if you are someone who feels like you always have to do things, you always have to fix things, you always have to say the right things, do the right things, people please, like all of those things to change a situation or to make people like you or love you or to make situations better, right? You have to be the one to do that. You don't always have to, okay? Sometimes, and I'll give you an example from the first situation that, not the work situation, but the other situation that I had, I felt like I had to do so much more. I felt like I thought I was being asked to help out in a much bigger way. But actually when I arrived at the situation, my energy was enough. And I'm not being big-headed, but I feel like me just being there shifted the dynamic. It shifted the energy of the whole situation. And no word of a lie, just one smile changed the energy, and I felt it straight away. Now I do pick up energies really easily, and the atmosphere changed because I was present. And sometimes you just walk into a room can change people's feelings, can change the energy of the room. And sometimes, you know, if you've done the work on yourself, if you are kind, compassionate, loving, gentle, high vibe person, all you need to do is just be present. You don't have to say the right thing. You don't have to do the right thing. You don't have to do much. You can just be there, and that will be enough. So for those who don't feel like they are enough and they have to do things to be enough or say things to be enough, this message is for you, okay? So there we go. That's your moon messages. Felt like it was really clear and really powerful this time. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Give it a like, share, subscribe. And if you want to book a reading, then all my details are below. Okay? And so I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.